So, Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development is a model that describes the changes people go through in their lives. The theory is based on the idea that people experience conflicts or crises at each stage of life, that successfully overcoming these conflicts leads to the development of psychological virtues. So there are 8 stages of Erik Erikson's theory. So these are the trust as mistrust. The first stage, which occurs from birth to 18 months. So autonomy as shame and doubt occurs from 1 to 2 years, and this when a child's abilities can lead to a sense of independence or shame and self-doubt. Next is initiative as guilt, so it occurs from 3 to 6 years. Next is industry as inferiority, occurs from 6 to 12 years when children question how to be good and learn good skills. Next is identity as role confusion, so it occurs from 12 to 18 years old. So next is intimacy as isolation, occurs in young adulthood. Next, generativity as stagnation, a later stage. Next is integrity as despair, the final stage which begins around 65 and ends at death. So Erik Erikson believed that people are aware of what motivates them throughout life, and that they make conscious choices that focus meeting social and cultural needs. So now let's proceed to Jean Piaget's theory. So Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development is concerned with how people use their thought processes to understand and interact with their environment. The theory focuses on children's intellectual development and includes 4 stages. So it's the sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, formal operational. So sensory motor bursts to 2 years old, pre-operational 2 to 7 years old, concrete operational it's 7 to 11 years old, and formal operational it's 12 years and older. Piaget's theory emphasizes that children actively construct knowledge through interacting with their environment. The stages build on each other by helping children to build their understanding of the world. Okay, now let's proceed to Lev Vygotsky's social-cultural theory. So this theory of Lev Vygotsky, it's the cognitive development states that learning is a social process that is influenced by culture and interaction with others. So, an example of Vygotsky theory is that teaching a child to ride a bicycle. So, a teacher might start by using training wheels. So then, hold the bicycle steady while the child rides, and finally let the child ride independently. So that is how Vygotsky means in this theory, or an example. So now let's proceed to social learning theory of Albert Bandura. So STL, or social learning theory, is a psychological theory that explains how people learn by observing and interacting with others. So it based on the idea that learning can occur through observation, not just direct experience. So SLT divides the learning process into 4 stages. So these are attention, retention, reproduction, and motivation. So last one is typical and atypical development. So the development of a child usually follows a predictable pattern. There are certain skills and abilities that are observed to gauge a child's development are called developmental milestone. So examples of this is sitting, babbling, and following directions. So however, each child is unique with this. Not all reach a milestone at the same time. Thus, the terms typical and atypical development. So, the term typical development refers to the normal profession where children grow by acquiring knowledge, skills, and behavior, so-called developmental milestone, at a certain time frame. So, that atypical development is a term used when development does not follow the normal course. More so, a child is developing atypically when he or she reaches a milestone earlier or later than other children his or her age. So that's the differences about the typical and atypical development. And I am Francisco Rachel D. That could be all. Thank you.